All right, guys, got three factoring problems here. Each one gets slightly more difficult as we go, so let's try it. First one says y squared equals 7y. First off, we want everything on the left side and set it equal to 0, so I'm just going to subtract 7y over, giving us y squared minus 7y equals 0. Obviously, we can take out a y. All right, if I factor out a y, that leaves me with y minus 7 still equals 0. Remember, in order for this equal sign to be true, either this y would have to be 0, because 0 times whatever this is going to be 0. 0 times anything is 0. Or that set of parentheses has to be 0. In order for that to happen, we're going to find out later, y would have to be 7. Right? So in order for this y to set everything equal to 0, just y equals 0. You could think of that as just setting this part equal to 0. The other thing you do is set this y minus 7 equal to 0. And that's going to, if you add 7 to both sides, give you y equals 7. Or just think about it, inside here, what minus 7 is 0? Well, 7 minus 7 is 0. So your two answers are 0 and 7. Moving on to the next one. Next one says x squared plus 2x equals 80. First off, again, everything over to the left side. X squared plus 2x, subtract 80 over minus 80 equals 0. This one is one where our leading coefficient is a 1. And so we can just go ahead and split this to be x and x. Two numbers that multiply to give me negative 80 and add to give me 2 are 10 and 8, right? 10 and 8. And it looks like we have to make the, make the 10 positive and the 8 negative. 10 minus 8 gives me 2. So then again, same thing as back to this one. You can think individually in these sets of parentheses, what either plus 10 or what minus 8 is going to give that whole thing a 0. And this one's going to be x is negative 10. And this one's going to be x is positive 8. All right, last problem says 3a squared minus 8a equals negative 5. Again, everything to the left side set it equal to 0. So it's 3a squared minus 8a plus 5. Add that over. Plus 5 equals 0. There we go. This one, the leading coefficient is not a 1. So we have to take our a term times our c term. And that's 3 times 5 is 15. I'll do that work up here. Two numbers that multiply to give me 15 and add to give me negative 8 is what I'm looking for. And that's 3 and 5. All right, 3 and 5 do that. And I would have to have them both be negative. Okay, negative 3, negative 5. So what we're going to do here is we're going to split that b term, if you will. So that gives me 3a squared. Split the b terms of the two that you just found. Negative 3a minus 5a. Again, negative 3 minus 5. What we did there is we just split this. That's the same exact thing as negative 8a. We just made it look different. All right, still plus 5 equals 0. I can group together my first set and my second set of numbers there. And I can take out, looks like maybe a 3a in that first group. Leave me with a minus 1. And over here, I can take out a negative 5. Remember, whatever you take out, these two parentheses have to be the exact same. So is it? Well, negative 5a divided by negative 5 is just a. 5 divided by negative 5 is a negative 1. Yes, those are the same. Okay, so what we did here is this is like two terms now, and they each have an a minus 1 in common. So one of our sets of parentheses is going to be that a minus 1 we're going to factor out. And the other set is what's left over. I like to put that one in front. It doesn't really matter, but 3a minus 5 still equals 0. And then just like before, we have to set each of these individual parts equal to 0. In this one, if I do that, I'll show you. 3a minus 5 equals 0. Have to add 5 over, divide by 3. So I'm doing this in my head a little bit, but that's going to be 5/3. You can do it on paper and check me if you want. This one, you can just think about it, I guess. 1 minus 1 is 0, so a is positive 1. Right, and there you have it. Three different types of problems. Progressively, they get harder, but each one we are factoring.